Hello, students. I wanted to get you started today with a video to help you start with the first lesson, and I will try to have videos that will tie into each or many of the lessons. But as you scroll down through your through the stream on Google Classroom, reminder about that syllabus. You can turn those in anytime. You can print it out. You can come to me and get a copy if you don't have a printer. But we are in Unit 1, Self-Awareness. And one of the things that we do in Unit 1 as far as self-awareness is we do some self-examination. And we talk about what your interests are, what your likes are, what you don't like, what you're good at, what you're not good at. And we consider all aspects of your personality and who you are. And so the activities that we do in this first unit and the ones that you see here in Unit 1 are designed to do that, to get you to think about who you are, what you like and don't like, and those sort of things. And so one of the first activities that we do in career development is this name acrostic assignment. And I'm just going to read you the instructions here. And it says you will use the letters in your name to create a acrostic. Each letter in your name will need to be associated with a word or short phrase that describes you. The project will be created in a word processing document. Specifically, we're using Google Docs. It says you should you should include not only your name, but also 2 to 3 graphic images. Also, the first letter of each line should be larger than the rest of the text of that line. The document should completely fit the page, so one page, and then you're going to see the attachment below as a guide. You will complete the assignment in Google Doc and turn it in here when you are done. So my suggestion to you is, even though you are looking at this from the teacher perspective, when you look at it on your student perspective, if you click on the open over here on open assignment, there will be an option here to create. You can hit create in Google Docs, and that's a good place to start. I'm going to go ahead and open up this document. This is my completed document. Let me kind of zoom out here so we can see more of it. And as you can see on my screen, that it takes up the entire page. And just a couple things that I want you to notice. First of all, the first letter of these phrase lines is much larger than the rest. So for example, my H is 42, while the text that follows it is 28. So it's much larger. Okay, it's also, the first letter is also bolded. That simply helps it to stand out. So when I look at it, I automatically see the name. And then if I look closer, I'll also see the phrasing. Okay, so I'm going to go to a document here, and you're going to name it, name acrostic. And I'm just going to put my text in here. I've already keyed it, but I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. And so the first thing I would do is I would probably kind of choose a size here for my text. And remember, your longest line can't stretch. It has to stay on one line. So for example, needs to go on a diet and exercise, or a business and computer teacher. Those are the 2 longest lines. So I have to make sure that they don't go on to a second line. So if I do 30, that might work. I could even try maybe 36. Well, 36 would still fit, but remember, I have to make my first letter bigger, so it might not fit. So I'm going to back this down, and I'm just going to say 30, okay? And then the next thing I would do is just come in here and make that first letter much bigger. I'm going to say 48 and bold it, okay? Now, and I could do that to a couple, change it to 48 and bold it, but I'm going to show you a trick here that might help you make this process a little quicker. This tool is called the paint format. If I click that, I have this E selected, so it already has the formatting I want. If I click this, and now if I click that, and actually I double clicked it. When you click it, if I just click it once, okay, it will stay on for the next letter, and see it goes off. But if I double click it, it will stay on, and I can go in and click each of those first letters to make this larger. And so it holds that formatting for those first letters, and I think it just makes it a little bit quicker of a process. Ooh, and I ran on to a second page here. So what I could do at this point, because it has to fit on one page, we might come back here. I'm going to first turn off that, and I'm going to come here to my page setup, and I might just change my top margin to 0.3 and maybe the bottom to 0.3, and see if that works to get it all on one page. And it did. So now it's on one page. So if you need to adjust the margins, and you saw me do that, That's file, page setup. You'll probably want to change those margins at the very beginning to at least 0.5 to make them a little smaller. It gives you more room on the page, okay? So now I have got my text in there, and now I'm ready to put a picture. The quickest way that you're going to do that is by doing a Google search. So I'm going to do a search for computer, because now your pictures should have something to do with what you said in your name acrostic. So I'm going to do a Google image search for computer. And when I find one I like, I'll take this one. I'm going to click on it so I can get the largest image possible. And notice down here how this line is going. When it stops, this is ready to copy. So on my, on my keyboard mouse, there's two buttons. You normally click this side, but I'm going to click the one on the right. I'm going to right click this and copy the image. And then I'm going to come to my document and right click somewhere and tell it to paste. Now when I put that in, it's very large, and so the first thing I would want to do is make it a little smaller, but still it's messing up my document because I don't want it here. I don't want to separate my words like that. So the way you fix that is by choosing wrap text. Now I can move that wherever I would like to move it. Now I still have to be mindful of my lines. So like this one, when it was up here, see how it pushed eager to help others? It pushed others on another line. So I need to move it so that it doesn't do that. Okay. So I'll do that one more time with another picture. And since I'm a teacher, let's see, an apple is associated with teacher. So let's find one here. I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to right click it, come back here, and I'm just going to click here and tell it to paste. And again, messes up my words. So I'm going to click on it and tell it to wrap text so that I can move it to where I need it. Oop, and see, it's still, and I have to be mindful of the size of my text. Okay, so you're going to have at least 2 pictures. Okay, I would really prefer 3 images. On my original document, you'll see I had a computer, I had a cross, and an apple. Again, 3 things that I think sort of go with what I have said in my document. So, but once that is done, then once that's done, I'm ready to turn it in. So you would then go back to Google Classroom and you would turn this assignment in there. So think about what you're interested in, think about what you like to do, and on your phrasing, I'm not looking for single words each time. You can see on mine that I do have some, like honest is one word, have a few, kind, but most of them are short phrases. Has a good job, a Christian, has a great family. So think in terms of short phrases that you can use. And some of you that have more difficult letters like X's and Q's and Z's in your name, it's a little bit more difficult. But the one requirement, you cannot use words like sexy or hot or things like that. Don't, and also I want you to be positive. Don't be derogatory in the terms that you use, okay? So be kind with your words, be positive with your words, but they should be words that and phrases that reflect who you are. If you have any questions about the assignment, you are welcome to come and visit with me.